Lee, thank you so much for coming in the studio. 28 quarters, it actually beat estimates. I mean, do analysts just have to be a little bit more punchy and raise their own expectations, or is it really Apple surpassing any imaginable revenue?
It's a little bit of both. I think on one side, Apple certainly exceeds expectation of going into every quarter. There is something about a conservative, chase me type of attitude with Apple's guidance always. And you see it again with the out quarter that they've given numbers of about 18.5 million units for the iPhone. Now, yes, there is an expected new iPhone coming possibly in September. The chances are that going into that, the final weeks beforehand, you see a slowdown in the interest in buying the devices. But really, 18.5 in the back of 20.3 they did in the last quarter seems a little bit low. So I think it's conservatism more than anything.
But what is the secret of their success? Because we've had analysts say, they're just timing it perfectly because they have these desirable products. They update them so that people want the latest version at a time where actually it just keeps on going and going and going.
Yeah, I mean, Apple, for me at least anyway, hit the paradigm perfectly when we moved from the internet on the PC to internet on the mobile. And they chased that story. They took the experience, the developers community and the fan base with them from those devices into handsets. iTunes was a great vehicle for this as well. It does help that you've got attractive devices, easy to use, very simple, and they've just created their own DNA in the market.
But I mean, when they were actually selling, PCs, they weren't that great. I mean, it wasn't very cool to own one. So, what really can they teach other companies? And at some point, is there going to be Apple fatigue?
Oh, big questions. Apple fatigue does look like it's some way off at this point. I mean, some of the rhetoric they used on last night's call was, we're still scratching the surface. These guys are only just entering China, 6-fold increase year on year in Chinese volumes. Asia Pac up 4-fold. This is a story that still has to grow into the wider global market. 222 million activations now in iTunes. It's a great story. The speed and the rate of growth doesn't suggest there's fatigue coming anywhere soon, in honesty.
Okay, and poor Nokia, at the other end of the spectrum, is just not being able to build momentum. They don't have the products that people want.
That's true, unfortunately. Nokia got caught in a moment where they tried to upgrade their operating system into a full ecosystem. Didn't quite manage to make that transition. I've moved with Microsoft, taken a gamble on Microsoft. My sense is you probably have to see a couple of iterations of devices to gain some momentum.
And Yahoo is also losing momentum.
Yeah. Yahoo, again, it's a far bigger story than just than just a device category. It's a sort of the internet play. It's been sort of corralled into a smaller place than the other players. It's got its own bag of problems right now.
So, Lee, if we look at the IT sector in general and a lot of the technology shares,
sure.
Apart from Apple, which are the ones that you think are good value for money?
Well, I think on the back of the Apple story, we've got a number of names in Europe who could trade very well over the next few days. ARM Holdings we see already up 3%, but equally we think a better play is Imagination Technologies, which does the graphics and video across a lot of these smartphone devices. Dialog produces power management chips, as does ST Micro. So there's a lot of the chip makers in the European sphere can play on the back.
And I guess some of the guys that also do the applications for iPhone.
Yeah, that's very true as well.
Lee, thank you so much. Lee Simpson there.